Hello there beautiful people and welcome to The Simple Life. My name is El and today we're tackling the first episode of Can You Burger It, for which we're deconstructing the Italian cuisine and trying to build a unique, hopefully delicious burger. Starting off with risotto. I guess it can only mean we're doing arancini. Let's talk about how we're going to build this burger. Instead of just tweaking a topping or two, I'm thinking we're going all out. Starting off by replacing our buns with mini pizzas, making our own Italian sausage for a patty, and topping that with homemade arancini and finishing it with another pizza. So let's quickly run through the process of making risotto. You want to be using any short grain rice labeled for risotto or rice pudding. Start off by finely chopping a shallot and the last tiny clove of garlic you could find, adding into a generously oiled pot and cooking your aromatics till fragrant. To maximize flavor in risotto, you want to toast your rice. You're going to add it to your pan and stir around until the kernels turn translucent. Deglaze with a good gulp or cup worth of white wine, whichever comes first. Cook off the alcohol and start scooping warm stock bit by bit. You can use any stock you like, but I went with veggie stock to not overpower the dish later on. Whenever you can draw streaks through your risotto and the bottom isn't covered with liquid, scoop more stock in until cooked to your preferred doneness. Similar to al dente for pasta, you want to have a little bite to it while being very creamy and sticky. There is a term in German to describe the viscosity and creaminess you're aiming for in risotto. It's called schlotzig or schlunzig, yet I couldn't find any translations into English nor Italian. A little preposterous if you ask me. Nevertheless, give it a taste. Risotto is easily as good, if not better than pasta. While we want to set our risotto aside to draw out some of its moisture, to better shape arancinis later on. I'm gonna have some for myself, and I'll see you tomorrow. A day later, our risotto lost quite a bit of liquid and we can shape it into balls. I went with low moisture mozzarella, which works great for filling stuffs like calzones, as you don't want to have any unnecessary steaming and it's just gonna ooze everywhere. Shape your arancini by ice cream scooping them one at a time. Fill with mozzarella and gently press together until an even ball forms. All of your ingredients are fully cooked, and the breading will seal our arancini, so you can make them as big or as small as you like. Before breading, put them in the freezer for 10 minutes to firm up again. In the meantime, heat up a pan with frying oil, and come back pissed off because you forgot to press record while breading. I guess this is a reality TV show now, because you get real failures and real emotions. But hey, you've all breaded something before: flour, beaten eggs, then breadcrumbs. Although not traditional, panko is king when it comes to breadcrumbs. Fry at 150 Celsius until golden brown. Season anything you take fresh out of the fryer, as this is your only chance for salt to actually adhere to the crust. That way you draw off excess moisture and get even more of a crunch. Dress it up all fancy schmancy and give it a taste. Surprisingly enough, cheese rice filled with cheese and deep fried is pretty good. Crazy to think this comes straight out of the heart of Sicily and isn't an American take on butchering foreign cuisines. Next up, we're addressing our patties. I'm gonna need all Italians to mute the video for a second as we make salsiccia di finocchio, for which we bring out a fat piece of pork butt, give it a good slap, I mean it has butt in its name, until you realize pork butt doesn't actually come from its bottom, but is a shoulder piece, you weirdo. We're gonna chop that up and feed it through our meat grinder. As of now, we have freshly ground pork. The difference to sausage, however, is seasoning and emulsification. The trademark of Italian sausage is fennel seed. Besides that, we season with salt and pepper. I'm feeling a little brave today, so I'm adding dried chili seed, making this spicy Italian sausage. Emulsify by mixing with the pedal attachment of your Standmixer or work it with your hands until you have an homogeneous clump of sausage. Shape into patties and let's address our sauce. I guess we could just stick with tomato sauce, but why not make something fancy and throw together a quick pesto alla genovese, for which we're toasting up a few pine nuts, Tear your basil up into workable pieces and add to a pestle and mortar or food processor. Drown in extra virgin olive oil, grate fresh parmesan and add in the toasted nuts. Give it a good smash until roughly combined. Adding coarse salt and pepper is of course seasoning, but it also helps to grind this into a smoother paste. Pesto in Italian comes from pestare, meaning to pound or to crush, and refers to any mixture of nuts, cheese, oil and herbals, so feel free to eyeball and mix as you like. I'm just working with leftovers here, there really are no rules to it. And let me tell you, this stuff is seriously good. Way too good for what we have planned for it. Bringing out the pizza peel can only mean one thing. We're finally addressing our buns. I have an episode on how to make pizza from scratch, so check that out if you're interested in how to make the dough. While I would usually aim for a fluffy and light dough, I'm really working it here to get a denser, springier, more bun-like pizza. I'm shaping them to about the size of our patties. When it comes to building our pizza, give it a healthy spread of tomato sauce and feel free to go hard on the cheese. I'm still using low moisture mozzarella, thinking we would otherwise get a soggy mess later on. And of course, basil and olive oil never hurt nobody either. While baking our pizzas, let's sear off our patties. Pork dries out rather quickly, so I'm working with high heat, flipping after 2 minutes on each side. We can see some nice browning. I'm grating some more parmesan on there, as I'm otherwise not using any additional cheese. I kinda had a crazy idea on how to step up our pizza buns later on. Stainless steel pans are notorious and great for building fond on the bottom. You would usually deglaze and scrape that off as it's really flavorful. However, I was thinking to just sprinkle some more parmesan into the pan, building a caramelized cheese crust to top our buns off with. This works great with cheeses that aren't overly dry, like cheddar for a grilled cheese. For now, let's build our burgers though. Starting off with the bottom pizza, give that a good smear of pesto, followed by our stacked patties and some more parmesan. Our arancini dressed with more pesto and just a spoonful of tomato sauce and basil. Now is a great time for a quick Instagram shoot while our boy is still pretty. Before smashing it down with our grilled cheese pizza top, cut across for the all-important cross section, revealing that Frankenstein of a burger. But I think it's finally time to dig in. Oh boy. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, let me try to break this down. There are a lot of carbs going on. Everything is just really overly intense. The sausage it's really heavy on earthy flavors and kind of dry. The arancini is great. It's really creamy and cheesy. I just wish we sauced it up a little more. The tomato sauce and pesto are surprisingly good in brightening up the entire situation. The pizza is kind of muted, it's overwhelmed under so many dominant flavors. At this point, I really wish we used regular fresh mozzarella. I feel like the creamier, lighter flavor would really benefit this burger big time. But overall, it's okay. I would give it a solid 6 out of 10. Every component that went into it is kinda great in and of itself. But the combination is really just not doing it any favors. Italian cuisine excels in having simple dishes with really high quality ingredients. And there really isn't a reason to mess around with it like this. But the most important question, I guess, is this a burger? What's the definition of a burger? Who the hell really cares? Do you have any burger you want to see covered in the show? Let me know in the comments, and until then, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in next week's episode of Can You Burger It, in which we take a different look at an American breakfast burger.